Hey friend, I've got a question for you. Are you overweight by like 50 pounds, maybe 100 pounds, and you're not getting it done? If you're like me, my story, in short, in 2012, I had a doctor when I was younger. I'm 53 now, so it's 10 years ago when I was 43, basically tell me I'm on the path to die, right? Which we all are, but it's how fast are we going to die is the question. And while we're still alive, will we have a good quality of life? That's the real question, right? And uh, and the answer was, I thought I knew. I thought then I actually knew what I was doing. Now I think I know what I'm doing a little better, but I still have so much even more to learn. But my goal is to help you shake loose. You need to shake loose and do something. So if you're fit, if you're already on your journey and all of that, and you're just kind of bored and watching this, that's cool. But who I'm speaking to, just so you know and give you some context, is someone who's out there who's not started yet, or maybe you're a tad afraid to get started, right? Facing the fear of who you are, meaning that you're overweight, 50 pounds, 100 pounds overweight. You just kind of know, right? You just know. So I'm overweight. I'm 263 is what I weighed in this morning, right? I've been in the 250s. I've gained 6 or 7 pounds in the last 60 days. And I don't even know how I did it. It just happened. And maybe you can relate to that, right? It just like the scale's going up. I'm like, I haven't changed that much what I was doing, but all of a sudden I got on this gain phase. In 5 pounds, when you have 100 pounds to lose, just for some context here while I'm talking here, when you have 100 pounds to lose, 5 pounds up or down in the grand scheme of things is totally irrelevant. When you're 90 pounds down, that 5 pounds is like, who cares? But in the moment, it is so demotivating, right? And it just makes you feel like a failure. And I'm here to try to give you some hope. And so my question is, if you're overweight, right? Let me ask you these next three questions. I got these from a doctor named Peter Attia. I'll put a link down below to an amazing video to help get your mind around what you've got to do. And no secret, if you want to lose the weight, nutrition and what you put in your mouth and is the number one resource, the number one tool, the number one lever, the number one of anything, and you have 100% control what goes in your mouth. You do. You might have some issues with your relationship to food you need to address to make sure of why you do what you do, but at the end of the day, you can get this under control. Okay, I'm just letting you know, but it's not going to be easy. So the three questions are this: are you eating whatever you want? Meaning whatever food you see that you want, you eat it? Are you eating whenever you want? Like just, oh, you just had lunch, but so-and-so just brought over some cookies, and you're like, yeah, sure, I'll have a few cookies, even though you're not hungry maybe. So are you eating whatever you want, whenever you want, and as much as you want? Meaning that if you wanted 5 cookies, you had 5 cookies. If you had 10 cookies, you had 10 cookies. And if you're doing that, I'm just letting you know that's on the road to destruction, right? I often liken being overweight to having a wound. And if you were wounded, you would take care of it. You would try to heal yourself, right? An open wound, right? You'd stop the bleeding. You would give it some triage. You would figure out how to get it to heal because you realize how important that is. You can't just walk around with an open wound. However, our obesity is just like that open wound, but yet we cover it up with a XXX shirt or a XXX shirt, and we just go about our day thinking that it'll just hopefully get better, or maybe it's okay today and I'll cope, right? But we need to stop and address it. So if you're eating whatever you want, whenever you want, and as much as you want, it's going to lead to a very bad outcome, right? So the point of those questions are, those are the three things that you have control over. You have control over when you eat, time restriction, right? When you eat. You have control over how much you eat, right? Calorie restriction. When you decrease the amount of calories, that's when you're pulling this lever. Peter's point is this is the least favorite option, meaning the least effective would be the better word. And then you have dietary restriction, meaning are you not eating carbs? Are you only eating vegan? Are you going carnivore? Or whatever the case. But you need to make a decision in all three. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I am doing to help me lose weight. And have I lost any weight? No. So this is my plan, and we're going to see A, am I complying with the plan? And B, is the plan going to work, right? Because I think at the end of the day, I wrote this down, you have to change your relationship with food so that you can manage your hunger. You have to change your relationship with food so you can manage your hunger, right? Dr. Tro, if you find him, I'll put up a link. He has a famous little quippet that if one cookie is not going to be enough, then 100 cookies won't be enough. And so I was having a conversation with my friend Mark today. We went on a ruck. You'll see in the video. And I said, "Hey, Mark, do you smoke?" And he was like, "No, I don't smoke. I don't smoke. I don't smoke either." And I said, "So that means that if I put 100 cartons of cigarettes in your kitchen, would you be tempted?" He goes, "No, I'd probably throw them away or move them into the garage, right? Get them out of. It's like they're taking up space." In other words, he doesn't even see them as a source of anything. They're not even useful, right? You could say, "Well, I could sell them and make money," but that's not the point of the thing. So the point is, if 100 cookies showed up in your kitchen, do you see that as a food source? I know that technically it is, right? But we have to get to the mindset, whether it's cookies or it's dairy or there's something that probably triggers you. For me, it's ice cream. If I eat a scoop of ice cream, I am down the road of a very bad path. It's very hard for me to stop. So guess what? Ice cream's not on the table. And very tightly conjoined with that is dairy. So I don't eat cheese, and I can't do even heavy whipping cream in my coffee while I like it, but it triggers me. I can just feel it. I can feel the way it makes me feel in my stomach. I think it gives me some inflammation. And there's a hummingbird at our hummingbird feeder. It gives me some inflammation, and it makes me feel bad, and it makes me, frankly, want to chase down some ice cream. So you need to think about these things, right? Start a journal. Do I have a journal right here? I use several different journals, right? This is a Barren Fig journal. It's a great journal. I should put a link up for this. And get your favorite pen and start writing. Start writing every day. One journal for this project. Pen and paper. Write down what you eat, what you think, how you feel. Start just documenting things, right? So that you can change your relationship with food. Food, if you're 100 pounds overweight, food's a problem. Food's a problem for me. I like food. I like to eat. But if it's going to be a problem, we need to change that relationship. So, a couple of closing remarks as I continue to beat this dead horse on this video. Number one, there are plenty of gurus, very good gurus in my opinion, probably that have very good advice. But if you marry yourself to this one thing, this dogma that let's just pick carnivore for example, because I like that way of eating a lot. But I had an avocado with some eggs this morning. Avocados do not bother me from what I can tell, right? And it's like, oh, well, you're not a carnivore, and it's like, do I beat myself up? It's like, look, this is my journey. This is my food choices, and I'm navigating through that, right? It's helpful mentally to put yourself in a camp, right? That's just what we do as humans. It's like, this is my tribe. That's my tribe. But I would guard against that. I would take what you can. Find someone that's the closest to what you like so that you have someone that you look up to, that you can learn from. Because the other part of it is, if you want 100 different positive reasons to be vegan, you can find them. If you want 100 positive reasons to be carnivore, you can find them, right? And you're going to spend your whole day, your whole life in a big swirling tornado of information overload. So find someone that gets close to what you like, but make it your own. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So that's what I leave the dogma and the arguing. You're not here to change someone else's mind that you are right with your diet. What you're here to do is lose 100 pounds so you can enjoy your life and make an impact on those people around you. You know, maybe some of those people that you impact will be on the internet when you share your story, but most of the people that you should be impacting are right outside your front door, at your kid's school, your friends, people that you know, right? That's what we're here to do. That's what you're here to do. So I'm going to make a video like this for the next 90 days. I'm on day like 7, and I hope you found this helpful. If you have a question on Saturdays, I'm going to try to do a Q&A session to kind of throw it back with some helpful advice and links. I do not have firsthand knowledge of anything. Everything I share with you, I've read, digested, and trying to apply to myself. I am not studying this. I am not a doctor. I'm just some dude in Cedar Park, Texas, trying to lose 100 pounds. If I was going to give you a book recommendation on this day, Why We Get Sick by Benjamin Bikman, right? This is the book. This book will give you a foundation of kind of, if you're obese, of where you're at, what is going to be down the road if we don't address it, and some starting blocks on how to fix it. It's not going to have, like, maybe he has a few meal plans and that sort of thing, but there's a lot of good resources, good explanations in here, and it's only about 200 pages. It's a good read. I've read this book 3 times. 3 times. Why We Get Sick by Dr. Bikman, PhD. I think he's at BYU. The other thing I would do is, if you're waiting for this book to show up, is put that name into your podcast app, Benjamin Bikman, and listen to all of his videos. I don't think he has his own podcast per se, but he's been interviewed by everyone. So that's my advice for you today, my friends. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for watching. I'm not on social media anywhere. If you consider YouTube social, then I am. But I'm not on Twitter or Facebook or TikTok or Instagram. So I'm going to do some writing of this up, and I'm going to post it on a blog somewhere. And I also have a link down below that if you want to have a phone call, if you feel like talking to me on the phone, and if I can point you in the right direction, hey, 30-minute phone call, totally free, me and you, a Zoom call, whatever the hell you want to do. I'm here for you. Want you to kick ass and do well. I'm wishing you the best.